Cruz can go ahead and go.
Yes, up next would be East 2. I'll sign out.
Yeah, good job on the run. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Alrighty, so this is S2, which is the direct sequel to S1, and in fact, they come in a 2-for-1 package. So one neat feature that Cruz is showing off here is that you can have the old school synthesizer music instead of the modern revised edition. So the main difference between S1 and 2 is first of all that the leveling system doesn't cap very early like in S1, and that you have access to magic. It's the main thing that differs. So, like S1, you have to do lots of talking around, mainly to get money for equipment at this stage, and also to progress the story. So wings do the same thing as in S1, they let you teleport back to town. And not only do they let you teleport back to town, they let you teleport back to different areas. Which is another thing that S2 added that S1 didn't have. So now we can finally move on to the dungeon itself. The first dungeon of the game. And before we can actually do the dungeon, we're going to be grinding a little bit. These enemies over here. Without the sword, as you see, we did no damage. I think we're doing up to level 3, can't remember exactly. The enemies here give you pretty good experience, and otherwise you can't really do any damage to any of the enemies in the mine. And you want to gain some more levels there before the boss. In this game, the major difference between S1 is that you're going to be killing a lot of enemies en route, basically. As you're walking and running through areas, you're going to be killing stuff with fireballs and other stuff. Instead of an S1 where you're going to be not really grinding that much, and then doing a lot of grinding and reaching level cap pretty early on. You're never ever gonna reach level cap because it's just way too high. And it's just not worth reaching, really. And there's gonna be a lot more killing stuff on the way. There is gonna be a big grinding session eventually, but for the most part, you're gonna be killing a lot of stuff with just magic. So the thing with magic in this game is you can target stuff without necessarily facing them, which is nice. Once you get an item later on. this area, you're gonna need to talk to all these statues eventually. And you also have to grind with these guys. So once you reach level 6, you're going to be going off and attacking these guys, because before you're level 6, you can't get past them, simply damage-wise. So once you're level 6, you can get past these guys and gain access to this chest, which has the Rod of Divinity. It's going to allow you to read inscriptions, and thus progress the story. And so now we have MP, finally, after talking to that statue, which you couldn't have done without the Divinity Rod. So this is the mine. Mine's pretty labyrinthian. And once again, we have enemies want to kill. So in the mine, at some point we're going to be getting our first spell. It's going to be very useful. At our first 2 spells, in fact. So in this you're gonna see the same technique you might have noticed earlier in this one, and that's pinning against a wall. Shoulder to shoulder is the best way to damage enemies without getting hit, basically. Because they'll almost always face you if you're like trying to hit them from the side or something, but shoulder to shoulder they're already facing you, so they can't mess with you by turning around or something. So there, you're supposed to talk to the guy inside the room, but all you need to do is just break the wall to activate that trigger. So you're talking to one more statue. So we get the fire spell, which is going to be useful throughout the whole game, basically. Allows us to charge the spell, which is nice, allowing us to kill enemies a bit faster. Later on, we'll be able to home it once you get another item, which is going to be very useful because it allows us to just throw off charge shots as we're walking around, and thus kill enemies without having to lose any time on movement. And here we're going to be doing some more grinding before the final boss. Not the final boss, the final boss of this dungeon. This game's not that short. So as you can see, our fireballs are killing all the enemies in here, which is very convenient. This allows us to basically steal XP. here is the first boss. So the way it works is his arms protect his eye, which is his vulnerable spot. So you want to try and use charge shots to hit him when he opens up. But otherwise, when he's not open up, there's not much you can do. Pretty good boss fight there. That's pretty much how it's supposed to go. So here we have some more of the mine to explore. Some more enemies to kill as well. You need to get the salsa of the flower here for side quest. I think the main story actually. It's needed for a potion to heal someone. And here you get the light spell. Under the evil ball, which you're gonna need to advance the story later on. It basically calls monsters to you. And here you're gonna get the light spell. So now we're gonna get some upgrades to our equipment, thanks to the gold we have amassed. And you also sell the ore you got in the mine to get some more money. So you're just gonna upgrade to our sword. There are a lot more pieces of equipment in this 2 than there are in this 1. So, now we have access to this area here, which is the first ice area in this game. Only the second in this game, but still. Milestone. So this area we're gonna be killing enemies, as always. With fireballs, of course. And another flower we have to get, common theme of this game, is flowers you need to get to advance the stories. We can't go up those slippery ridges yet because we don't have boots, which will let us cling through them. Invisible lets us freeze this area here and get across. All the areas in this 2 are a lot more complex than the areas in this 1, and a lot more difficult to navigate as well. Like, even an overworld area like this is full of different areas you can go to and different doors and whatnot. So you get the Hawk Idol, which allows you to aim better with your fireballs. It acts as a homing system of sorts, which is quite useful because it allows us to sort of throw fireballs without much care at enemies and it'll hit them within reason. So, we need to use our fireballs to blast through this ice here. The Altar Magic, which you need to access another area of the game. It allows you to transfer into literally sort of an animal, kind of. You're gonna be needing to transform to that animal a few times. So here, you prep the return magic, which you can do with the equip swapping in this game. And now we got the stone shoes, which allow us to climb up the slippery slopes. And after getting those, he returns to Lance Village. Because we basically want to get back to the start of the area, so it's quicker to warp out all the way back to Lance than it is to go backtracking through the area itself because of how big it is. Because the area we couldn't access before, that we can't access now thanks to the stony shoes, is right at the beginning. The anti-illusion mirror is sort of like the eyes of mask of eyes in this one. Allows you to see through illusion, which will be necessary in a few areas in the game. There's a lot of key items you have to get in this area. As you can see, thanks to all these fireball spams, which are now even better thanks to the homing ability we have. We're up to level 20. Pulling off every ice block is considered an enemy, so you get 1 experience whenever you destroy one of them. And now we have access to the boss, and we need the Mirror of Illusion to basically decipher the correct door. So this boss here is pretty straightforward. He's gonna jump up, throw some ice. You can get 2 fireballs in every round. Sometimes he double jumps like that. And sometimes he also spams ice later. Later on in the fight, he also spins ice more than once. So we get that gold chest for free. Pretty nice. So right off the ice here, you have the fire area. Be the mud of burn blast. So this is going to be the first one in the game we're going to need Arthur Magic. So basically go into that area to be able to return to it later. What we're going to do before the next boss. Like the ice area, this area is quite confusing as well. There's lots of alternate paths you can take. So if time in both normal and rude form, you can advance the story. And you learn about how his son was abducted. So now we're going to try and find his son. You were getting the heal up, of course. the rotor leaf we got earlier allows us to clean that toxic area, otherwise we'd not be able to progress through it. The game would stop us from entering. So thanks to the earrings, it allows us to hear through this crack, and therefore discover that Turf is behind it. Turf being the abducted son of the man we talked to earlier. So we pass the blow-up pearl, which we had to get through, in that chest. And it allows him to explode that. Just barely get a glimpse of his cellmate. So now you have a pretty, I guess, long escort quest, as in Tarf is going to have to follow you for quite a bit, and it's quite annoying. Because if you walk out of the room early, he's not gonna follow through with you, so it's a tough balance between trying to save time by exiting the room as quickly as possible and not exiting too quickly and having to re-enter the room. And Turf first has a bad habit of getting stuck on walls. Killing enemies during this time is also pretty much free XP, because you're gonna have to wait for Turf anyway. So if you manage it correctly, you don't lose any time killing extra enemies, but of course it's quite hard to keep Turf going in a good direction and not wasting time killing enemies as well. As you can see, I'm telling that Scorpion here, Turf is getting stuck at the wall, so happening. So maybe like one of the hardest areas to optimize just because of that. So we're finally at the village. If he's on the same room as you when you enter the village, you're good. So there's no need to wait for him on that last screen, thankfully. And so here we're going to be coming up to the boss of this area. After a bit more dungeon exploring, of course. So this boss is Nightmare Fuel for sure. He also has 2 health bars. So basically ejects whatever that is from his mouth, and then you can hit him. So a common theme in this too is that bumping isn't useful in bosses, and you have to use magic. And homing is actually kind of detrimental here, because it'll often home you to a place you don't want to go. And that thing that he spits out isn't you can't shoot magic through it, which makes it quite a pain at points to hit his mouth. But otherwise, this boss is relatively straightforward. When his mouth is closed, hitting with Fireball just pushes him away, so you can use that to position him further along. Because if he sort of pins you in front, you can be in a very bad situation and die. So he just sort of stunlocks you, so you want to make sure that you're pushing him back with Fireballs. Or moving in such a way that he doesn't move forward too much. This one also spawns enemies. Occasionally. Yeah, this is easy, by the way, just because it's faster for obvious reasons. So he's almost done with Gelatin. I don't even think he could have killed him that cycle there. There we go. Boss takes a while to die, but still a pretty good fight. So now we can leave this area. Finally. And now we get our next upgrade, weapon-wise. We don't really buy armor that much, simply because leveling up is better. So this area, once again, you have to do a lot of small things to advance the story. Spike there. But yeah, basically you have to get the keys, enter the final dungeon, which is, once again, a very big chunk of the run. And to do that, you need to talk to a various amount of people whose heritage is the key to entering the final dungeon. So you need to use Art for Magic to get past these guys.